Hello crafty friends, and welcome to this month's Global Stampin' video hop. My name is Linda Dolke. I'm a demonstrator here in Australia, and I'm going to be working tonight with our theme for the month, which is vacation or holiday. Now this was a little bit challenging for me because I don't have a lot of stamp sets or dies that I think are particularly aimed towards, and I was looking for a, maybe a Bon Voyage stamp, but we don't really have anything like that right now. So instead, I'm going to sort of come up with with my own version of a holiday card, and I hope that you'll like it. I did think about doing a scrapbook page around a holiday theme, and if anyone would like to see that at another time, I will do that as a separate thing. So let me know in the comments if that's something you'd like me to do. Okay, so I thought I'd combine a couple of my favorite current sets. These are new in our latest catalog. This one is called Under the Moon. It has these lovely watercolory kind of scenery pieces, like this water that is great in a background, and there's some clouds. You can add some dolphins and even a little sailing boat if you want to, and of course the beautiful moon in the background there. This one is Seaside Wishes, and I mean, what's a holiday if it's not got some sort of beachiness to it, I think, although I know there are other kinds of holidays, but I really do like a beach holiday. So this one's got, sand dollars, we've got some starfish, what am I saying, and some nice little greetings that we might borrow from as well. And then I'm thinking about possibly a third set. We'll see. I'll make it an optional thing. I'm going to start. I thought for my beachy theme, I would work with this new colour, which is Basic Beige. It is quite a nice sandy kind of a colour. And I thought that would be very nice to work with. So let's get started right there. I'm folding a half sheet of A4 in half here. Folding it in half again, so I've cut a half sheet of A4 and then folded it in half to make my card base. And then I'm using some DSP. This is going to be our front piece. This is from the Country Woods Designer Series paper, or pattern paper as we like to say, and I thought this kind of reminded me, there's a shop not very far away from me that sells lots of beach themed things, and they have a lot of this kind of distressed, almost shabby chic kind of looking wooden frames and things like that. And I thought, well, this has got kind of a beach feel to it. And for this, I am going to create a scene, and this is going to be my main focal point, and I'm going to use the archway from the Garden Meadows dies. Okay, so this is a online exclusive set of dies, and I'm going to be popping that here on the front, and I'm going to cut this piece here. So I'll center this so it's about the same distance from the two sides, and also from the bottom up there about the same amount of distance here and here. All right, so I'm going to run this through my cut and emboss machine, and I will bring that in, and we'll get that happening. I've got a bit of cutting to do tonight, so I might not bring it in every time, but I wanted to bring it in this time. I'll zoom out a little bit so you can see better, because these are on sale right now. So if you're watching this before the end of June 2024, they are currently 10% off. And so if you have been thinking about getting a cut and emboss machine, this is a really great time to think about actually taking the plunge. Both the large size, this one, and also the mini machines, the smaller, cheaper ones, they're all on sale. So all 10% off. Okay, so let me run my archway through this beautiful paper to create our beachy arch on the front of our card. All right, let me move that out of the way. I will move it again in a moment. I'm not sure if I'll bring it in every single time. I don't think I will. All right, so you can see I can now use this perhaps on another project, but I've got this lovely little archway with the little like a little radiating lines design around the edges there. All right, so I'm going to set that aside with my card base, and I'll pull that in a little bit later. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a background that we're looking through our window at. Maybe this is an Italian holiday. We're in a cute little beachy Italian house and looking out at the ocean. I don't know, Portofino or somewhere like that. I don't know. Where are we? All right, so I'm going to use, for this piece, I'm going to use some Fluid 100 watercolor paper. And this is the Under the Moon set, and I'm going to be using this to create a scene. Now, if I'm confused at all about where my scene needs to be, this is going to go behind here, okay, and it's going to be seen through the window. So I probably want my water down in the bottom 2/3 here, and then whatever's going on in the sky up here a little further up. So let's start with this stamp. Now, I've used this a few times, as you can see, so it's got that slightly stained look, but that's okay. So this is around about where I'm going to want it. I'm going to pop this on a block. This is block block H is this one. All right. Now, I'd like to actually, for this, I'm going to use a water painter, and we're going to smush our colour around. So I'm just making sure that my water is running through, and it is. I'm also going to give this a quick spray. Will I or won't I? I don't actually have to do this, but I'm going to decide what colour I want my water to be. Well, I'm kind of doing, for my theme today, I wanted to have like aquas, like bluey greens. So I'm going to use some Summer Splash, which is a new colour. It's quite similar to Coastal Cabana, but a little, not quite as bright as that. Slightly different. And then I'm actually going to use some Pretty Peacock as well. So I'm deciding, I think I'll have the lighter colour up towards the horizon there. And I'm just going to put a little bit of Pretty Peacock on the lower half of my piece here. Right, now I'm going to, can you see that I've got the two colours on there? So I'm going to just position this on here so it's straight. And I'm going to have this, like I said, about 1/3 of the way up. And I'm going to stamp that. All right, now don't worry if we've got, you know, you can see actually we've got it actually looks like there's 3 colors, because even though there's only 2, in the middle here where the 2 colors have combined, that's sort of an in-between green. And I've got my water painter here, and what I'm going to do with my water painter is I'm going to make sure the water is running through, and I'm going to just come across this. Now at the top here where it's lighter, not a lot is going to happen, but as I work my way down, you'll see the colors start to bleed and blend, and it looks really lovely. So I'm actually going to bring that color down, because the bottom of this is going to be covered by the edge of that frame. So I'm actually going to, now do I want to add a little bit more? Oh, it looks rather good, doesn't it? Let's see how, when we bring our frame in, which is over here, how much of this is going to be covered. Yeah, that looks rather good. I quite like it. And it doesn't matter if we don't completely cover the very bottom, because we're going to have some other elements going on down there as well. All right. Now, in the sky, I could just do a wash if I wanted to with, say, Pool Party ink, because Pool Party would make it nice and light, and it's still going to be in the Pool Party is this color. This is like it's a slight, some people call it green. I think of it as blue, but different people have a different idea of whether Pool Party is blue or green. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put some color onto a block. Doesn't matter what block, I'm just going to dip my block straight in it. And this time I want to create a wash. So I've got a wider brush, and I want to once again squeeze it to make sure, and it sure is, the water is definitely coming through there. And I'm going to pick that up, and then I'm just going to smush it across. We only want it to be very light blue. It doesn't have to be a lot of color on here. And once again, the top is going to be covered, so I don't need to take it all the way up to the top if I don't want to. All right. All right, it's looking very pretty. All right, now I do have these other clouds here, and if I'm going to use these, I only want to have them very light. I don't want to have a lot going on with these. So I'm thinking, if we had a cloud, what color should our clouds be? That's the interesting thing, isn't it? So I'm going to have this one. I'm going to have this one down low to the horizon, especially with that straight edge. And I'm going to pop it here on my D block. Actually, which way? It goes that way. All right. And I'm thinking, if I was to go in with Smoky Slate, is that going to be too, it might be, it's a little bit I don't want it, I guess it could look like a storm, but we don't want to storm too much on our holiday, do we? So let me see how dark this is going to be. I'm going to stamp it just on a piece of scrap, just to see how it's looking. Oh, that's not too bad, actually. If it was very dark, I would stamp it off. But I am going to put a matte underneath, just to get rid of some of this dottiness. Not that it really matters. And I'm going to have that going straight across the horizon there. There we go. Oh, I rather like that. That's rather good. All right, so let's get that's cleaned, and I'm going to pop that back in here. And then I'm going to use the other one. There's another completely different cloud that also looks good, but I'm going to use the same color again. And this time I'm going to have this one going off over to this side. All right, just like that. Okay, so I'm happy with my scene. It's kind of, it's not actually the focus point of my card. The other elements that I'm going to add are going to be the focus point, but I wanted to be able to, you know, have a scene that is, yeah. And if we wanted to, we could add the little sailing boat, or we could add some dolphins. I think I'll add a sailing boat. I think that'd be nice. So the thing is, what color will we add it in? And I'm thinking we want it to be quite dark, so we could go with black, but I think maybe a little bit softer. I might go with navy. So let me grab my navy ink, and it'll still look like a silhouette. Now I want my boat off to one side. Do I want it over here, or do I want it over here? I think I'll put it on the same side as the cloud. All right, like so. All right, so now we have ourselves a little scene. All right, let's bring this back in. And let's pop this right here in the middle of, look, completely in the middle. All right, so I'm going to, on the back of this, I'm going to add some Tombow glue, or whatever glue you would like to use. It doesn't have to be Tombow, but I am a big fan of Tombow because Tombow is, being a liquid means that you've got a bit of, you can move it around a little bit before you really commit. So if you're using tape or seal or one of the other more immediate permanent glues, if you make a mistake, it can be hard to get them back off again. But the Tombow gives you a bit of wriggle room. All right, so let's pop this right here in the center of my card. And that would be a nice card just by itself, just like this, with nothing else. But of course, we are going to add extras. We're going to have this guy coming around here, and you can see how nice this is starting to look. Is it looking like a vacation? I'm going to create, I'm going to put some dimensionals behind my frame, so it's going to sit up and create a little bit of shadow, which will just make it look a little bit more 3D. So I'm going to put these in the corners. These are the big dimensionals. If you're worried about, because I can put these here, and I'm thinking that will still be okay if I'm very careful, but if you're worried about these being too big on the sides, you could add mini dimensionals to the sides perhaps. All right, so let's add one more on that other side. I'm just going to carefully put that there to hide it. All right, and then I'm going to move these. What I'm hoping is by the end of this, that this card is going to make us feel like we in a good way, like we all need a holiday. Because it's going to make us feel like we can smell the sea air and feel the breeze. That would be very nice. Okay, all the pieces are off. Now I'm going to line this up so that it's equally distant from all the edges. And did I get it close enough to the bottom? I'm a little too close to the bottom. Oh, you know what? It's actually okay. All right, so this is how it's looking right now. You could call that finished. We could add a sentiment and say it's a done card, but no, of course I'm not going to do that. I'm going to add some other elements. We have some beautiful, beautiful dies that are part of the Seaside Wishes set, and I'm going to use those. So the Seaside Wishes set is this one here, and we've got some, we could use a couple of the sentiments are quite nice, like the "you absolutely made my day." Well, this would make your day. Sometimes the simplest things mean the most. If I decide not to put a greeting on the outside, I could always stamp something like that. Sometimes the simplest things mean the most. I could stamp that on the inside. But I really had a hard time finding a really good greeting to go with a holiday type of card. So I'm going to have to look out for that. Now, as part of this Seaside Wishes set, we also have part of the bundle, and once again, the bundles, the die bundles in our catalogue and online are actually on sale right now. So this is something that you might really enjoy. If you thought this is a great bundle, you might really enjoy getting an extra 10%. They're always 10% off, but right now they're an extra 10% off, so roughly 20, which is great. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to position this. This actually, oh, did I do it the right way? Yes, I did. It goes on the back of the, where the Stampin' Up logo is, and you'll feel it kind of almost click in. It fits, and once it's in the right spot, okay? Now, I'm actually going to use a piece of white for this. Let me just grab it. Okay, I'm going to pop this here, and I'm going to hold this so that it makes a connection. And what it's going to do is it's going to cut these three out. It's also going to emboss the rest of the card as well, but I'm actually only using these three pieces. So let me just run those through my cut and emboss machine, and I'll be right back. Okay, here's our embossing folder. And when I open it up, you can see this has cut out these three pieces. They actually look like sand dollars, and the detail on these is just beautiful. I just realized I need to zoom back in. So sorry. Whoops. I'll make sure that I'm straight. There we go. All right. So these three have all cut out as well as embossed. I love that the folders with the these hybrid embossing folders do your cutting and your embossing. And now I need to grab something to get in under there, because sometimes they're a bit tricky to get out. And so I could use these beautiful pieces if I wanted to, but I'm actually not going to use those today. All right, so I've got these. Now I could use them just as they are, but I'm actually going to sponge some color over the top. Now to do this, you could, well, you could do this a number of ways. You could do it with a sponge dauber. You could do it just with an ink pad. I think for me, I'm just going to take the easy way. The other thing that is really good for going over these is the sponge brayer. That actually, sorry, not sponge brayer, the brayer that we currently have. All right, so I'm going to very lightly add some color, and it doesn't have to be even. I think it looks more organic and natural if it's not even. All right, so you can see how nice this is. And I'm just going over it very, very lightly to bring out the detail in those beautiful sea dollars. Can you see that? So if you're worried, that's a bit of a straight line there, so I'm gonna come over and give it a little bit more. So how much you add to these is completely up to you, but I think that looks rather good. So I'm gonna say that's done. Now that I've done this, I've got a bit of I've got a bit of ink on my mat, so I'm just going to wipe this off with a tissue. You can use whatever you happen to have to hand. If you've got a tissue or paper towel, I usually keep some paper towel near my desk for that reason as well. All right, so these are looking good. I don't think I'll end up using all of them on this card, but I wanted to use at least one, and it cuts three at the same time. So if I don't use them all, I've got them for another project. All right. Then the other thing that's in the same die pack, okay, so we've got these that I just used. Where are they? There they are, like so. But I love these as well. I think these are beautiful. And I haven't decided, I think I'll use my Summer Splash would be nice for this. And I'm going to do both because I haven't decided which size I want to use yet. So I'm going to use both of them. And I'll run those through the cut and emboss machine and I'll be right back. Okay. So you can see these have actually fallen out. And they're all the pieces, like it's half cut. The pieces have actually cut all the way through, but they haven't all fallen out yet. Now for something, oh, that one came off when a lot of these ones came out when I pulled it off. You can see they've been left behind here. I'll attend to those in just a moment, but I'm thinking what other color would look really good with this. I'm thinking either Lemon Lolly or Calypso Coral would look really nice. Maybe Calypso Coral, because these colors I think are really beautiful together. So once again, I haven't decided. Also I could stamp these and cut them out with the dies because the stamps and the dies match up, but I'm just being lazy and using my dies alone. So let me do that. Now I'm wondering if it would have looked better for me to use stamps, but they look quite nice, don't they? So it's a fabulous set. Really gives you these lovely organic shapes. Now while I've got this here, I would like all these pieces out of here. So I'm going to use my brush tip of my Take Your Pick tool and the matching foam that comes with it. I usually turn them upside down just to protect it so I don't mess them up. And I just roll this over and look how beautifully they come out. If there are any left over at the end, like there's one there, you can just poke it out easy. So that one's done. And let's get all these ones out. Much quicker than sitting there and pushing them all out individually. So really, really great thing that you can add to your Take Your Pick tool. It just screws on. You take the putty tip off and screw the brush tip on instead, like so. Very easy to do. All right. So there's a couple here that didn't quite push out, so I'm just going to attack those with the pointy end. If you haven't got one of these Take Your Pick tools, I thoroughly recommend them. But if you have a lot of dies, then it's worth looking at the brush tip as well, which is a separate thing. All right, so I've got this. I mean, it is actually really pretty as it is. I really like it, but I'm thinking I don't want to have too much covering up this beautiful piece. So I'm thinking maybe this one popping out from behind, and then maybe the little one. I don't feel like we need to have a lot on here. What do you guys think? Does that look good? I think it does. All right. If I wanted a bigger one, I could have it, but I think I'll go with the smaller one because I'm actually really happy with the scene. So let's see how we're going to put this together. First of all, it doesn't really matter because most of this is going to be hidden behind the sand dollar anyway. So I'm just going to stick a glue dot behind this to hold it in place. So it won't matter even if the glue dot is visible because it's going to be hidden behind the sand dollar. So then I'm going to put the sand dollar on a couple of dimensionals. So let's add a couple of those. This kind of card makes me happy just because it's, I know it's fun, something a little different. And I'm going to whack a glue dot right there behind the starfish, and we're going to pop him right there on the edge. It's looking really, really great. Now I'm not going to do this today, but I was thinking if I really felt like it needed a holiday boost, another set that's been around for a while, the little sea turtle, or you could even got these little fancy starfish, but I was thinking the little sea turtle, he's a bit bigger than what he's shown there. He's this size. You could stamp him and then cut him out and have him appearing, you know, over the corner up here or something like that. But I actually think it looks fine just as it is. It doesn't really need any extra help. And I'm thinking I won't put a greeting on the front, but I think I will put a greeting inside. And because I've used Pretty Peacock on the front, I'm going to use this on the inside. And maybe we'll use a couple of, we'll borrow a couple of stamps as well from the Seaside Wishes set. So I'm going to use this. Sometimes the simplest things mean the most, because I think it's a really nice greeting. And I don't know about you, but I like a simple holiday. I like a holiday just to be not complicated, just to be simple. So this is a holiday stamp as much as any. The card, but I actually really like it. I think it turned out really pretty. And when it comes to the watercolor paper, just relax, add a little bit of water, spread the color around, and just let it do its thing. I love how these colors, and it gives like different depths to the water, so it looks like the water is deeper in some parts than others, and I really love that. But there'll be other hoppers in the group. If you go down below in the description underneath this video, you'll see the links to the next hop, the next person in the hop, and I'm excited to be part of this wonderful group of talented people who do beautiful, beautiful things that you guys can come back and look at time and time again. All right, hopefully we'll see you again next month. I hope that you can stop by. It's always the last Friday of the month. I go live on a Friday evening, or I go publish on a live evening schedule. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you all again next month. Have a great weekend, guys. Thanks. Bye-bye.